What's up? If anybody has the invite, if anybody has the Zoom invite, you can log in on Zoom because we're simulcasting on Zoom as well as we're also doing. Hey, Miss Nikki, what's going on? If you want to get on the Zoom link, if you got my invite or you went to one of my pages, you've seen that. And I'm hoping that you come on and join us while we do our thing. Before we get tonight's show started, I'm sure, unless you've been under a rock or in any type of place, I'm sure you've heard the news. I'm not going to spread it, but it's still the news. We got we got Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P Diddy, aka Diddy, aka Love, who's had a very long has a very long and very, how can I say, up and down relationship. Um, I got KH coming on through YouTube. What's going on? Have a good welcome to my show. As you know, I'm DFG in the place to be. But Sean Combs has been arrested under federal charges, and he's going to be doing some time. Make no mistake about it. Um, he's he's left a trail of broken bodies, broken promises, and broken heads all over the place. And we don't know how this show is going to end, but we know it's not going to end in a good way. I want y'all to understand, if you have any words on what's going on and you want to be part of the show, you can come on and through Zoom, and I want you to come on and we can do this thing. And I want to, before we start, I'm going to wait on Chocolate Pearl, my favorite girl, and if Beanie's coming on, hopefully she's on. But I'm going to show you a clip from Diddy's Today. So I ask that you sit back, relax, open your mind, and clear your body as we bring up as we bring up what's going on in Sean P. Diddy's world. Let me switch screens, and my Zoom will go away. Allow to share window, and here we go. I'm going to stop that here. Hey, what's going on? My main man Chuck. It's my boy Chandis Jackson. Hey, we've known each other over 30 years. He was my army buddy. We were together from our officer basic course and through our first duty station. We stayed in touch. We've been good friends ever since. Um, he hey, he's a good one. So I just want to make sure I give him his shout out today, and I thank him for coming on. Hey Melina, what's going on? Let's go to his lovely bride Melina. They've been married going on 23 years. That was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks, 23 years ago. 3 weeks ago. Oh yeah, don't trust me. I remember. 'Cause I was there. Hey, oh, I'm just older and fatter, but that's what matters. I got one of my co-hosts on, my fellow co-host. We're gonna bring on Chocolate Pearl, my favorite girl. Come on, and Candace, you and Chocolate Pearl have one thing in common. Y'all were born 1 year apart, the same day. Yes, she is my sister from the same Mr. and Mrs. And DJ Dabs is my future brother-in-law. If you were on my show about 3 weeks ago, he proposed on my show. I'm so proud and so happy. And they found who they needed. They found each other, and they're doing well. So, Chuck, my man, what do you think about the events of today? You hold on, before I go, I'm going to give a little tidbit. Chandis works as a screenwriter, and his side hustle is being an accountant and a financial advisor. So he knows a little bit behind what's behind those closed doors because he's written for a few shows. One show in particular he wrote just went off TV a couple of years ago, was called Bull on CBS. He actually wrote an episode for that. He also has written a few screenplays, and he's very smart man from HU, graduated from Howard University, got his master's from Michigan. His lovely bride graduated, her bachelor's was in journalism from Tennessee State, and she got her master's from Columbia University. She's a freelance writer. So when I talk people, dude, I'm a repository of useless information, but I don't forget my friends now. But this if you want, go ahead, Shannon. That's what's up. What's your opinion, Melina? Putting that orange man away where he belongs. Well, he well, they knew. Yes, they knew each other. Yeah, they. Hey, look, they. Let's just say, and that's the reason why I named this episode Diddy's arrest, and is anyone now, even the most powerful, above the law? I'm going to venture, and a lot of people may disagree with me. What's going on, Special K? She's a co-host of mine on Tantalize and Talk Thursdays. Those are Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. with our CEO and president, Dr. Fabulous, as well as myself, Special K, um, Lady T, and Action J. Uh, but one of the things you said, Melina, made a point. He's running not for president. He's running to keep his behind out of jail because they're gonna get him. If they got, think about this. They got Weinstein, they got Epstein, they got Diddy. What's the common thread between all three of those people? And yes, and they all hung out with a certain former president who's under criminal indictment or who's been convicted. So you run with the, you know, you run with the people that you're most comfortable with. Now, he wasn't the right complexion for the protection that he was, but he ran in those circles and he has a lot of dirt. You heard they found like 1,000 bottles. Was it 1,000 bottles of baby oil, chocolate pearl? She's in Florida. Oh, she might have dropped off. Miss Nikki, was it? Can you tell me whether they found whether they how many? Well, maybe he was. Well, maybe he was using it for a giant slip and slide. You know, maybe it was for the wrestling in a little pool. You know, they put it in a pool. I got it. I got it. Sponsored by Johnson Johnson. When you want to get in tight places, use Johnson and Johnson's baby oil. Ooh, yeah, and y'all know we most of us in here are parents, and we've used baby oil, and if it gets on your carpet or your walls, it ain't never coming off. It ain't never coming off. Well, I got quite a few people. I just want to shout out everybody. I'm not doing my TikTok live because my main profile that I work out of got banned for speaking my mind, and that's a long story. So I am working off of Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and I'm also trying to get all of this. That's why we have the Zoom. We have the Zoom in here, and I'm trying to get this thing together. I'm three people short of 15K subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my page, subscribe to my page. I want to get over 15K. I got 33K on TikTok and Facebook. I got friends. So hopefully y'all in from all over. I've sent messages. I put everything on the board. So Miss Kim, what is your opinion on this whole Diddy thing? Can you hear me? Okay. What are your thoughts about that? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Chickens have come home to roost. The people have gone and joined, and yeah, R. Kelly was a different case because yeah, it was famous, but it was mostly famous among black people. White people ain't really care because white people weren't really affected. The difference between him and Diddy, he got white people involved. So, like I said, and there's a whole bunch of folks. This is just my opinion. I only know what I see. But yeah. And that's what it usually takes when episodes like that come on. There's always things are a wall of time because victims are afraid to come forward because they think they'll be ridiculed. But when that first victim steps forward, is brave enough to step forward, what happens is they continue. The dominoes start to fall. Think about let's go back to Harvey Weinstein. Once a couple of women was a couple of women, and then the Me Too movement came. It was a wrap for him. He was going, and I am not I am not unhappy that he will never see outside of a prison because you know not only using his power and influence, but coercing people. I'm not gonna keep because Diddy did men and women, but coercing people through blackmail to get to what they want and to keep them from getting, and then they're always on that tether, that leash, that if you're doing this, you're going to get, you're going to have issues with making people look at you funny. So, like I said, it only takes one victim, one or two victims that are credible and believable. Sometimes even there's no such thing as a bad victim. Victims, if you've been victimized, you're a victim, and you got to be treated as such. But a lot of times, people people get so caught in it, and what keeps them in is they look at it as, well, if I'm going, I'm gonna tell, and then your situation is gonna be ruined. And this is what happens. That's why a lot of people are silent. But then when one person steps up and they're considered credible, a whole bunch of people follow. Because I'll even go back a little farther. Is anybody still familiar with the baseball steroid scandal? From This was the late '90s, early 2000s. The person that wrote the book, Juice, Juice was Jose Canseco. Everybody clowned Jose Canseco, and he said, "I know, I got names, I got books, I got this, I got that," and people didn't believe him. But once he showed receipts, it was like a snowball, and they basically call that whole era from 1993 to 2000 and like 2004. They call that the steroids era, and a lot of people that were big then are not getting there now. They should have, most of them should have made the Hall of Fame because they were good enough. Their numbers were good enough, i.e., Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. However, it took all of that for people to actually believe, and Sammy Sosa. Don't forget Sammy Sosa. Took all those people for people to believe that had actually happened, and this is the result of all of that going on in the world of those big and powerful people. Now, like I said, yes, the Republican nominee is a convicted felon, and for the grace of whoever,